Where are we? Right, mate. We are live. So Craig, I know we have finally made this happen. You've had a hectic couple of weeks. Obviously, people that follow BBG, we can see that you guys are flat out. So let's kind of, like we've been talking off air a little bit before we went live and things, and obviously you dived into a little bit of like your business side, your property side of things. Where did it come for you?
So where it started for me probably is back in 1972 when I was 4 years old. My dad bought me my first bike for Christmas. It was a little automatic Montesa. And ever since then, I've had a bike by my side, which is for the past 48 years now. I've never not had a bike. And my passion for Harley started about 7 years ago. I was on a holiday to South Africa and a mate of mine rocked up on an 883. And I hadn't actually seen one before. And I saw it and I was like, that's cool. That's so customizable. And I came back to the UK, found myself a little 883 and it had an Akrapovic, but whatever people say different things, right? I call Akrapovic exhaust on it, which is really unique. And I thought I had something really special, and I did some bits to it, and that's why my love of Harleys came from. So yeah, it's been going for a long time.
That's cool. And like obviously, like with the Sportsters, I was actually talking to someone I had on last week. We were talking about Sportsters, and it seems to be kind of the bike that people find really easy to get along with, and they want to modify them a little bit and make them their own. Obviously, the downside to that, which I was actually whinging about the other week, is unfortunately so many people started buying them that the price is just through the roof on them, right? Just a sports trail like $8,000.
It's crazy, right? It's crazy. I mean, when I bought my first sports, I think I paid like $6,500 for it. And I remember I bumped into somebody at Chester Harley, and he introduced me to Sports Sickness. And I joined Sports Sickness, and I went to one of their first events. And I remember talking to somebody kind of going, yeah, I've got this bike, I paid $6,500 for it. But I reckon with all the bits that's got on it, I'll be able to get $9,000 for it. And he looked at me and went, do you think so? And I went, yeah, it's really cool. Meanwhile, in the back of his mind, he's thinking, there's absolutely no chance this guy's going to get $9,000 for this bike. But I was so naive, I kind of thought I'd got something really cool and unique, And then fast forward 6 or 7 years, you're paying that for a 1,200, and more.
Exactly.
For a 48 and more. So yeah.
Exactly. And to be fair though, that naivety of it, that's where people know that you're gonna like. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit of a weird one, because obviously for the old school lads that have grown up around the culture, like knowing that the Sportster was kind of your entry, cut your teeth into the world of V-twins or custom bikes in general. Yeah. It was, it was great for people that wanted to own and ride a Harley on a budget, and then obviously it became the trend. I mean, like I say, it's a bit. Obviously, it'll be great for your business, because obviously, you guys will be able to know that you can do the servicing, do the quick modifications, and obviously do a full ground up build, like obviously like the stuff that you guys completely do as well. It's obviously swings and roundabouts in it. I personally think it's absolutely crazy that a 1,200 Sportster or even an 883, especially an 883, I think it's crazy that an 883 costs more to buy than a twin cam.
I've got an example of that. So we had recently had a couple of bikes for sale. One of them, we had a 56 plate deluxe, stage 4 tuned. It had a 110 Screaming Eagle in it. It only had 4,800 miles on the clock. It was absolutely mint, ceramic coated and everything, right? It went for 11.5 grand. Then we had a 48 with 10,000 miles, and it had a Springer front end and a trick paint job and Shinko tires. That went for nearly the same money.
It's crazy.
I was like, you can get so much more in a Softail, but you know what? There's so many people that jump from a Sportster onto a Softail that actually don't enjoy a Softail, and then they go back to a Sportster. And that's how we got our hands on that deluxe, because the guy who had it, great bike, lovely bike, but he missed his Sportster, so he went back to a 48.
Yeah, Yeah, no, it's I mean, I've never owned a Harley. My old man's got a 1450. I keep calling it a heritage. It's not a heritage, but it's like a heritage.
Yeah,
And like I like the idea of a Sportster because I like the idea. I said this probably on the podcast. I love the idea of a short wheelbase bike,
yeah,
like because you can still. I mean, again, like I've not ridden a Harley, so I'm only talking. I'm talking a bit of my own opinion, which could probably be completely irrelevant. But the idea of a short, stubby wheelbase bike that's still got
yeah,
that lovely Harley sound,
yeah,
it's that's the thing I like the idea of. So it's
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
I agree. Yeah, 100%. So I've had now Sportster, I had an 883, and then I went on to I think I went on to not a Fat Boy, a Street Bob. I went on to a Street Bob, that was it,
Street bob.
which was a modified Street Bob. It was really cool. And then I went on to my FXDR, which I've currently got, and you've probably seen that long, load, air ride, the whole lot. But I get to ride a lot of different bikes as well now, And
Yeah,
we recently built a rat bike. The guy, one of our customers, bought a Sportster blind, and it came into us, and sadly, it wasn't a great bike. So the conversation I had with him was, look, to make it look better, I'm going to make it look worse. Is that what do you mean? I said, I'm going to rat it and it'll look really, really cool, which we did. And it did look really, really cool. And I rode that bike all the way from Bolton to Blackpool to deliver it for him. So my trailer was off the road at the time. Mate, put a smile on my face, more so than my FXDR. My FXDR is great. It's long, it's sleek, it's fast. It'll do 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. It's got a 260 back wheel on it. And I get on it and I smile, but after 5 minutes, I absolutely fucking hate the bike because it hurts me. I'm going, I hate you because you hurt me. Get on a Sportster, I'm like loving life, just pottering along, just enjoying life. So horses for courses, right? They do different things, but yeah, for me, I think a Sportster is a great bike. It really is a
yeah.
great bike.
I think like engine wise, like visually looking at a Sportster engine, I love the look of it. I love the look of the narrowness of the bottom. One of my favorite engines is actually the Ironhead because I love that hybrid look of it's got the narrowness of the bottom end of a Sportster, and then it's
Yeah,
got a bit of a flair of a shovel, with some cool looking barrels, a bit more like a knucklehead. It's got that.
yeah,
Obviously,
yeah,
one of the most unreliable engines Harley ever built, but
yeah. Yeah, well, actually, we've got one coming in over winter. It's been stood for 30 years.
wow.
Yeah, and the guy wants to give it to us over winter to get it to recommission and get it back running. But interestingly, I had a conversation with a guy last Saturday as well. He also wants us to work on his Ironhead. So it's like just two have reared their heads in the last week. But this one that's been stood for 30 years, that was going to be really interesting.
Is that going to be is that a full restoration, or is that get it running and customize it?
Mate, I don't know yet. We saw the customer today, and he was like, can you do my Ironhead? It's been stood for 30 years. Gaz, in fairness, it's his late father's best friend, so Gaz knows the bike. Yeah, we'll see what happens when it comes in.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool because obviously, like you guys have like recently done a bike for, is it a car collector? They've got the Alfa Romeo on the wall.
Oh, right, okay. So that was a bike for the CEO of Fleet Auction UK. Yeah. So Fleet Auction UK deal with the whole of the end of lease vehicles and bikes, and they've got contracts with Honda and Suzuki. So Andrew Walker, who's the CEO, is a bike fanatic, and he had a dream bike, which was a Thunder bike, built by the German company Thunder bike, and it's called the Nocon Breakout. So he got hold of us through a mutual connection, and he said, "Look, guys, I've bought this Breakout. This is what it is. I want you to build this Nocon. Can you do it?" We've gone, "Absolutely, yeah, we can do that." So he trailered it over to us, and this bike came off the trailer, and oh my God, it looked like it had been pulled out of a swamp. The wires had been eaten by rats. The engine was mouldy. Engine paint was flaking. It was an absolute pig. So we took months and months and months, but we got it to virtually like new. So now it's stood in the reception of Fleet Auction UK. opposite he's got a Formula One car on the wall.
Yeah, on the
He's
wall.
got
Alfa Romeo on it.
that's the one. Yeah, yeah. He's got a McLaren there. He's got a Landy, short wheelbase Landy with only 9,000 miles on the clock. And last time we went there, he said, you know what, you guys, because me and Gary go together. He said that bike gets more attention than anything else in this reception. So he's just given us a second commission. He's bought a Fat Bob, which is again in really, really rough condition, and he wants it recommissioning like new, like it rolled off the factory floor. No modifications to it, just standard. Because what the plan is Fleet Auction are building a dedicated bike centre in Loughborough where all the press can go and all that type of thing. So what the idea is, the Fat Bob and the NoCom will be displayed there as his bikes. We'll have our BBG hats there, T-shirt. We've now got BBG rum and pale ale, which you've probably seen knocking around on the internet. So we're going to put them there as well. And we're going to feature in their trade magazine, which goes out to all of the traders across the UK. And there's going to be a section just on BBG Customs and how we helped Andrew build his dream bike.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome, isn't it? And so you say you've got BBG rum, did you say?
Yeah, BBG spiced rum. So we launched that last week. I've got a bottle in the van. I haven't got it here because I've actually sat in a pub. Where I am now, I'm actually not in the shop because I've been delivering in a really, really difficult place and I've got caught short of time. So where I am is I'm at the Dog and Partridge in Woolston, and it's a customer of ours, and they run a petrol head night every Thursday night and every Saturday morning. So if I wander down the bar, there's one of these BBG caps hung up behind the bar somewhere. Some of our business cards are out. But it's cool just to call down here because, it's, people who like cars and bikes and you can talk to them. So that's where I am now. So I couldn't bring the bottle of rum in, but we've launched a butterscotch and vanilla spiced rum.
Wow.
That is seriously nice. Everybody that's tasted it have gone, that's dangerous. So we've got that for sale. But what I'll do, mate, if you give me your address afterwards, I'll send you a bottle on us.
Oh, that sounds awesome, mate. Yeah, I'll give that. I mean, I don't really drink, but I'll definitely.
We'll send you a bottle that's pretty expensive.
Yeah. No, I mean, it'd be good to try it for sure.
It's nice,
so
mate.
What inspired that then? Obviously, I'm guessing this is part of the vision of BBG. I mean, what made you decide let's create a rum? And obviously more of a connoisseur, not just your binge drink. That's clearly a drink that somebody is going to want to sit and just enjoy, isn't it?
Yeah. So BBG is it's myself and Gaz, right? So sadly Gaz can't be here tonight. He's got family commitments, but my background is whilst I've got a passion for bikes, it's not in the biking industry, right? I was a managing director of a property company and also a director of another property company. And my job was to take self-employed estate agents and help them grow their businesses. So one of my skills really is about how to grow a business. So what I bring to BBG is business growth, but also like vision. I'm quite creative. So, when a customer comes in with a bike, I'm able to look at it and listen to what they want. Can you still hear me? Because the camera's gone off. I think this is when I pad because it looks like we've lost connection. So I'm left on my own. I'm sure he'll dial back in a minute. This is awkward. If I could sing, I'd sing or tell jokes, but I can't sing and I can't tell jokes. I'm the least funniest person you'll ever meet. right, I'm probably going to drop the line and then dial back in just in case.
it full on just threw a wobbly and chucked me out like halfway through the live. What's that? Why was he crying?
Right, I'm back. You're back.
I think we're still live, aren't we?
You're still live.
I'm sorry.
Dude, what happened was it went like, this guy's trying too much shit. Cut the feed.
Yeah, it was fucking weird, very very weird.
Anyway, we lost our one viewer. Never mind.
Oh no, I think we're back. I think we've got one back. It's
oh yay!
I'd love to say that I'm that guy that's going to get you guys a load of new customers, but
dude, you know what? It's not about that. It's not about that. It's cool just talking to somebody, and you know what? We were talking about how to grow businesses and whatnot. So
yeah,
I'll as I said, BBG is, I'm only half of BBG. Guys is the other half of BBG, and I'll perhaps go into how BBG came about shortly. But I'm literally here by accident almost, in that my background is in growing businesses. So I see BBG as a brand, not as a bike workshop. So what I'm doing is I'm promoting BBG as a brand, and that's what the rum's about, because we've got it in a bar in Lancashire. So people sit at the bar and go, "Oh, can I have a BBG rum?" Yeah, it's cool, right? Because that our brand is rolling off their tongue.
Yeah.
And if you notice on our merchandise, we've got crew on the back, BBG crew, which in terms of modern brands is, if you think back to like the 70s and 80s, people used to sit outside of a brand and look at a brand and go, "That's a cool brand." But today people want to be part of that brand and they want to be advocates of that brand. And I call them loyal raving fans. And if you can build an army of loyal raving fans, is they help you promote your brand as much as what you can. So that's what the rum's about. That's what the merchandise is about, and that's what the what the beer's about. Because again, going into a bar and people go, "Can I have a BBG pale ale?" or whatever the case may be. We've got our rum going into restaurants as well, which is cool. Right?
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. And like I can imagine knowing that people are going to enjoy what you've created as well. Like,
yeah.
I could just imagine it being really, really cool. Like that feeling of like, oh, fucking hell, that's one of our bottles. Like I have it like with a couple of my hoodies, and someone messaged me the other day asking if I was at the early hookup, and I was like, "Oh no, I was at the Race the Waves in Bridlington." And he goes, "I've just seen someone wearing one of your hoodies," and it's like such a cool feeling, especially like somebody like myself that doesn't have a massive number. I don't have massive numbers, so for me that little thing is like a big win. Like I really enjoy that.
Yeah. Dude, we don't, but it's really nice to, like, customers really want to engage with us. And Gary's been mechanicking Harley Davidsons for 25 years now. He started his apprenticeship in, I think, 1997 at Bauer Millets. Yeah, I think it was the 2nd of April 1997 when he started. And he's built up, loyal raving fans since then. He's been to European university. He's done 7 courses at European University for Harley Davidson. So, he's really, really well known. So people come to us because of that knowledge, but then they stay with us because of, because we're BBG, because of the service that we offer, but also it's becoming a very, very cool brand. Well, I think it is anyway. I'm biased.
No, but and the thing is, I mean, it would be concerning if you wasn't biased, if you wasn't proud of what you're representing, to wear that on your shirt. Like obviously we chuck shirts on it's a shirt. We need to wear a shirt or whatever. But obviously when you've got something that you've had your input on, and there's a lot of stress and time and like all that emotions behind it. And to be able to speak so highly of it, at the end of the day, if you don't believe in it first, who else is gonna? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm like so passionate about this brand. So I don't have a job in property anymore. I'm now fully in BBG. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not earning nearly as much when I did it as in property, right? But it's such a lifestyle change, and it's something that I'm so passionate about and something that I believe in. I'm going through that pain because I know where this brand can go. I know what my plans are for this brand. Gary knows what my plans are for this brand, and together we keep on saying this. We're creating something special here. And it's taken a lot of hard work. It will take a lot of hard work, but I know where we're going to go, which is really exciting.
And you know what? It's crazy, like, because that's like literally like it's like what you've just said there is like how this is for me. It's like I think like we spoke the other week, you know, like how I envision my plans for 666 Customs is a website. Like obviously the website is going to be a hub for people to connect with bike companies, whether it's going to be, you know, whether it be like looking for a local Harley servicer and you guys on the website, or whether it be a local pub, a bike friendly pub, you know, tattoo conventions, bike shows. There'll be a classified ad section, and that's like obviously where we briefly spoke when we had a malfunction was like it's really interesting to hear about business side because I know absolutely fuck all about it, and like I'm there telling my friends and like my missus like I really believe that what I'm trying to create and slowly creating, I believe it has the potential to become something massive.
Absolutely, mate.
And mate, I have no fucking idea how. I said to my missus, I was like, if you ask me how or why, like, what makes you think that? I think the beauty of it is because I simply can't explain it, and because I think that, and because there is so much unknown about it, and you know, I've said this a few times on the podcast, it almost makes it magical. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It almost makes it like, you know, like being able to sit here and talk. Like I started podcasting in September. Am I great at it? No, not at all. Have I got a lot to work on? Absolutely. But I keep telling myself when I have a bad day with it, or like I look at something and it's not doing something like I'd hoped it to do, I just have to tell myself, like, you know what? Like, Craig's wanting to sit here and talk to me, so I must be doing something right.
Yeah, 100%,
do you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah.
You know,
look, it's the same with us, right? Yeah, 100%. Look, mate, you're doing a great job, right? Because people wouldn't be tuning in if you weren't doing a great job. You wouldn't get the guests that you get if you weren't doing a great job. But look, you can't get everything 100% right 100% of the time. That is physically impossible. You know, sadly, you know, and I say this, we've had a few customers where we've let them down. Yeah, and I hold my hands up and I recognise that we've let those customers down. But you've got to use that as a learning. You've got to go, okay, why did that happen, and how can we make sure that doesn't happen again? You know, so it's all part of the journey. It genuinely is all part of the journey.
Absolutely, mate. And I had my first live event last weekend. I was lucky enough to get involved with the Distinguished Gentleman Ride Out from Triumph in York. And mate, I was fucking terrified. Like literally, I was that bad. I was stood there. I had a t-shirt in my hand that I had to hang up, and my missus just walked over, looked at me, grabbed the t-shirt, grabbed the hanger, and was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm just like, I was that nervous. I was like, I don't know. And she's like, "Give it." I'm so fucking lucky to have the group of people I have around me, you know. And this is like this is like one thing that podcasting is doing. Podcasting, interviewing, talking to like-minded people it's creating connections with people, you know. And it's I've been able to create like online friendships. Like I got a dude that I'll ring him up in Canada. Like he'll ring me at like 3 o'clock in the morning. How are you doing? Like how's things? And he'll show me like video call, like, and he'll show me around a bike that he's building or an old panel F150 that he's got, and it's like incredible, like absolutely incredible to see.
I've got an idea for you. Canada. One of my mates in Canada runs a bike tour company, but off-road bike tours around Whistler. I'll hook you up with him. And take you to an interview with him. Mate, the guy's sick. He's called Jody. I met him in the Isle of Man, probably about 10 years ago. And I had some mates in the Isle of Man, lived on Bray Hill, and I walked out of the gate one morning, and these 3 people walking down the street. And I went, "Hi, mate." He said, "We're really struggling for somewhere to watch the racing." I went, "Oh, pull in here. We're going to a farm. Come and watch from here, right on Bray Hill." So we came in, gave him a case of beers, put my barbecue out, and there we go. Enjoy your day. See you later. We got back that night, and he put a note through the door saying, Thanks so much for your hospitality. My name's Jody. I live in Canada. If you're ever in Canada, hook me up. Look me up. So my missus has got relatives in Canada. She flew out there and she got hold of Jody in Whistler. Mate, the guy ran like 3 bars in Whistler. Her and her cousins had red carpet treatment the whole night. They got absolutely shit-faced. So much so, her cousin took a piss in the drawer in the hotel. Right? But to this day, I'm still mates with Jody. And I went out to Canada and he hooked me up with some bikes and we went touring. So it just, what you say, making connections, just being friendly with people works.
Yep. Honestly.
Sorry, I was just going to say, your idea of hooking up with companies, what we do is we've formed a bit of a syndicate, right? So we've got the Gasket, which is a really cool bike cafe up in Appley Bridge, run by Lee and Emma. And that's where we were last weekend supporting their 5th birthday. We've got Lucky Eight's Rock and Blues Bar in Chorley. Stash, he's the chairman of Deadwood MCC. He runs that, but he's stocking our rum and beer. Then we've got the Dog and Partridge down here who do petrol heads night. So what the 4 of us do, and we're soon to maybe include, still talking to a company called Horwich Motorcycles where we get all our MOTs done. We just help each other and we share contacts, we share ideas. And when one of us is having an event, we go and support it. Like I'm here tonight supporting petrol heads. I was at the Gasket's 5th birthday weekend supporting that last weekend. When we have an event, they'll come and support our events. And so it's similar to what you're going to do, but online.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I think that's how. I can't remember exactly how I got in contact with you guys, but I think I'd commented on something and you'd commented on it, and I'm sure it might have actually been. That's it. It was the Bobhead bash that they had, and you had your anniversary the same weekend, and I'd commented saying I'm gutted I couldn't get there to meet people and say hello, and you'd commented underneath going, mate, you've missed out. And then we just started like I followed your page, and obviously we spoke a couple of times, and then it was like and that's what's so cool about, like, there's a lot of negativity around social media, but when it's used in the right way, it's cool as hell. It's
absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. I genuinely get psyched on the fact that, like, okay, we're in the same country, but like when I'm lucky to interview people in like Canada, America, Japan, and I'm like freaking out. I'm like, I've never been any of them places. I say to my missus, I hope people really see like the excitement because it really excites like-minded people around the world that want to sit and talk. It's like fucking awesome.
Yeah. Dude, I got excited by Crazy Cats reaching out to us. Crazy Cats are in Yorkshire, Crazy Cats Garage. And Gaz reached out to me and he's like, dude, he said, I've got a couple of 48s that we need some help with. I was like, yeah, cool, we'll come get them. So we're going to go and get those 48s. We're going to do a collaboration build with them. And that's only Yorkshire, but without social media, they wouldn't have heard of us, So we're now going to end up doing a collaboration build. Somebody reached out from Spain, live in Spain, but they're moving back to the UK, and he's like, do you work on these types of bikes? Because I need somebody to help me when I get there. I was like, yeah, absolutely. So that shows me that our social's reaching Spain. And then last weekend, we met somebody at the Gasket 5th birthday bash. He said, oh, you're BBG. I said, you guys. He said, you're all over my social feeds. I can't get away from you. And I was like, yeah, man, job well done.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it, isn't it? It's cool when you've got someone like someone comes up and goes, "Oh, you're the guys." Like, like I had it. I mean, I don't know. I'd be interested to see if it's happened to you. Like, I've had it where I've been at a bike. I went to the Motorist over in Sherburn and Elmet. That's become like quite a good hub for like cars and bikes, and it's quite a modern place. And I'm sat in there talking to my mate, and this guy is like, he starts staring over. I've said this story before, but he stares over and and I think, what the fuck's this guy looking at? And he's still staring. I'm like, and he comes over and goes, you're Josh from 666 Customs, aren't you? I'm like, I actually had him on recently, Full Throttle Clothing Appeal. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And he goes, mate, we've been talking on messages, and I'm like, really sorry, mate. So I speak to so many people trying to get podcasts set up that I and then it clicked, and then we managed to do a podcast together, and
that's cool.
It's just this new thing, like trying to get your head around it and that. But anyway, I want to get. I know we elaborate a bit. So back to BBG.
Yes,
where did the name come from?
Right. Okay. So I'm going to tell you the God's honest truth now, right? So I've known Gaz for about 3 years now, and he made a decision to leave his previous company, and he's feeling, pretty down in the dumps about it. And he didn't know what to do, and knowing he knew I was quite business minded, yeah, and so I said to him on a Friday, he was feeling really, really down in the dumps. And I said, mate, let's go out for a ride. So we went out for a ride and we stopped at a pub. We had a beer, went out for a bit more of a ride, stopped at a pub, had a beer, went back to my house. And I said, do you fancy having a few beers? Yeah. He said, yeah, that's cool. So, I jumped in, we've got a hot tub, but it's broken now because I can't afford to run it. But back then, hot tub was working. So I said, let's jump in the hot tub. Sounds a bit odd, right? So we got in the hot tub and we got absolutely smashed, right? Mate, absolutely smashed. And my missus came out probably, we're playing music and, he's going to hate me for saying this. So, guys, if you're watching, I'm sorry, mate. You know me, I just speak the truth. We had our arms around each other singing It's Raining Men at 1 o'clock in the morning, right? Yeah, sounds really, he's gonna hate me for saying that. He's going to absolutely hate me for saying that. That's how smashed we were. And my missus came out and she said, oh, I've been listening into the conversation. She said, why don't you help, Gaz? And I was like, how? She said, you've got an empty garage there. Let him use our garage. And I was like, yeah, no, Gaz can work out of our garage, no problem. I said, and he went, I haven't got the funds to do it. I said, I'll bankroll it, Gaz. You set up in the garage. I'll give you what you need. I'll get your amp and everything. Crack on. I went, right, okay. And I went, BBG. And he was like, BBG? I went, yeah, mate, BBG. And not many people know this. And he was like, what does that mean? I said, built by Gaz.
That's cool.
Mate, that's where the name came from. So then I woke up the next morning. Gaz went and fell over in the garage and slept on the garage floor, his future workshop. And I went to bed, woke up the next morning, and I said to my little lad, design me, because my little lad is a YouTuber. He's 12 years old, right? But he's got something like 26,500 subscribers. And mate, he gets paid like 150 quid a week from YouTube for advertising or something. Anyways.
That's awesome.
So I said to him,
I could do something like that.
Dude, he's 12. Anyway, so I said to him, design me a logo. He said, what do you want it said? And I said, BBG Customs. And he came up with this logo within like a minute. So Gaz woke up and I went, here we go. There's your logo. There's your letterhead. There's your compliment slips. He went, shit, you work fast. And I went, dude, you wanted my help. I'm offering you my help. Yeah. And that was my involvement, right? So I bought Gaz a ramp. I kitted my garage out with workshop lights, bought him a ramp, and our first customer, Mike Ashcroft, who I'm mates with from Northwest Sports Sickness, said, I want some work doing on my bike. We rolled his bike onto ramp as the first customer, and in the first month, Gaz worked on 7 bikes.
Wow.
Yeah. Second month, we did 10. Third month, what happened is Damien from one of the Bobhead brothers reached out to us and said, guys, I've got a problem starting my bike. So we said, oh, cool, we'll come on have a look. So we rode to Damien's house and, I got chatting to Damien and I said, out of interest, Damien, do you know of it? Because I obviously knew who Bobhead were, right? But I wasn't mates with Damien and Seb then. I'd seen them on Dragons then. I'd seen them at ride-outs and things. I said, out of interest, do you know of any units that are available? He said, funnily enough, there's one opposite us. He said, we were going to use it for storage, but it's too small. So, I can hook you up with the landlord. So guys and I went out to look at it and I just went, can't afford not to do it, man. So we moved in there on the 6th of December and now we've been constantly busy ever since. And about 6 to 8 weeks ago, I moved into BBG, kind of like more full time. But Gaz he's the master in terms of master mechanic. I don't touch bikes, mate, because I'm not qualified to touch bikes. I'm the mouthpiece. I like drive the business. I come up with all the wacky ideas. I talk to customers, put quotes together, and help them create their dream. And then Gaz is the guy that makes it happen. And mate, he's such a talented mechanic. He really is. And he's an absolute legend. He's a workhorse. And he smashed out 5 bikes this week, and they're all top quality.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because like when you're watching like the videos that you're putting out, like, you know, you're just reeling off job after job after job, and it's like, fuck me, like I struggle just to get one bike finished in a year. Like I'll be honest, I don't even get one fucking finished in a year. You know,
mate, don't get me wrong, it's stressful, right? And look, at times, because what happens is we manage a diary and we get jobs in and we think we're timing them, but one has a problem and then it starts building up. And look, don't get me wrong, we can reach that pressure point where we're both going, for fuck's sake, gotta get these bikes out. But then it calms down and we knuckle down and just smash them out, you know. And we're lucky enough to have, our painter Dave, is ex Harley Davidson as well, so he's stepped in and helped over the last kind of like 3 or 4 weeks, and he's been a godsend to help us get that work through.
Yeah. Yeah, so like obviously, like was the idea initially, was it going to be just generally just minor modifications and mainly servicing, or was it literally anything?
There was no original idea. Gaz was literally like, I need somewhere to work out of, and I was like, use the garage, dude, and that was it. That was the idea. And then as it became slightly busier, Gaz was a bit like, okay, can I have some help with the business side of things? I said, yeah, absolutely. And then that's how it started then picking up traction. And don't get me wrong, without me, Gaz would run have a fantastic business. In terms of his skill at mechanicking, he's got a fantastic reputation. But in creating the brands, that's the flavour I brought in terms of like kind of catapulting the brand and creating the brand that is becoming BBG. It's still far from where I want it to be, but I feel it's gained traction since, in the last 7 or 8 months.
Well, and that's it, isn't it? It's like there's so many bike builders that obviously you speak to anyone that builds bikes, and it's like their dream is just to build what they want to build. But everybody, on the flip side of that, the reality is that that's not feasible. There isn't a customer for every dream build. I mean, there might be if you've got nothing but time to wait to sell it. And I think obviously there's this new side of the custom scene that's come more of a, almost like, I wouldn't say like contemporary, but almost like more of a, and to me, I wouldn't necessarily say it's even like the best thing. Like I like the dark grubby side of the custom culture, that rebel to society thing. But however, there are people that, let's say, that have had a great Christmas bonus payout and they want a custom built bike. They're not necessarily going to go to the scary looking biker dude. They want to go to somebody like yourself that can talk right to them, that can give them like this. Obviously, they're not just having a bike built by you; they're having an experience.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And,
yeah, I get it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll say 100%. So we deal with a lot of the MCCs and and they're absolutely fantastic guys. Everybody that we deal with, but then we have corporate clients on the other side as well. But one thing that Gaz and I are really, really passionate about is that customer journey. If somebody rings my phone, I will always ring somebody back. If somebody sends me an email, I always email them back. If somebody wants to communicate with us, I will communicate back with them. I really believe in giving people. So when a bike comes in, we do a video walk around of the bike. So we've got your bike in the set, and we do a visual health check. First thing we do of a bike, and if we notice the tire's a little bit low, we'll point that out. So the customer say, "Okay, great, well it's in there. Can you sort it out for me?" So we do things like that. We follow the Harley Davidson service schedule. So so that people, and we were very proud of that. We said to people, look, we said, what do you do on your service? And we'll do exactly the same as what Harley Davidson do. And we've got the service schedules printed out. And, customers, most customers want to get a proper invoice when the job's being done, showing what's exactly being done to the bike. So we try and do things properly. But, at times we drop the ball. I think everybody does, but we do try and give the customer that journey and that experience. But I think the key is, and it makes me really excited, right, is that when I look at every bike, I almost treat it like my own. And I get excited when it looks right, and I get excited for the customer. So as an example, we've just done a Heritage, and it came in for a service, and we did the walk around, and I said to the customer on walk, I said, look, your front fork legs are a bit pitted, could really do with tidying those up. They said, what do you recommend? I said, well, we usually spray forks black, but there's not black on your back, so we'll go silver on. It was cool, get it done. So the forks was painted silver, but they were totally the wrong colour. Yeah. No fault of anybody's. I just didn't explain what colour silver I had in my head. So they came back silver, and I just wasn't happy. So I had to ring the customer. He wanted his bikes. He's going on holiday. I had to ring him and say, I'm really sorry. I cannot bring your bike back because I'm not sending a bike out like this, but we will get it sorted for you. Within 2 days, the forks were resprayed, bolted back on the bike, and mate, they're perfect. And I delivered it back to the customer last night. Honestly, and it gives me goosebumps. I think about it. He gave me a hug, and he's like, Craig, he said, thank God you guys exist, and I want you to exist forever. He said, what you've done to my bike has made it look like new, and I can't thank you enough. And that's the buzz I get out of it. And I know Gaz gets that buzz out of it as well. None of us, neither me or Gaz, want to let people down. We just want happy customers. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it, innit? I suppose, it, and like you say, the fact that you treat it as if it was your own, you at the end of the day, you're not gonna treat your own bike like shit or compromise, especially if you're in a position where you can afford to do the bits you want to do and whatever, At the end of the day, no one's gonna go, oh, I'll have that silver because it's okay. Obviously, if your budget's tight, then yeah, you settle for that. But everyone in the dream is like, right, I've got X amount of money, I'm gonna do that, and that. And that's it, isn't it? It's
mate, if you were a fly on the wall, when we've done a bike, me and Gaz stand there. Sorry, when we've done a bike, when Gaz has built the bike, we both step back and go, fuck me, that's nice. And we look at it and we smile and go, that is so cool. We'd ride that. And that's the key, right? If you go, that is cool, I'll ride it, it's done right. But if you look at it and go, that looks like a bag of spanners, it looks like a bag of shit, God, I'm glad I got on the bike. You haven't done the job right.
Yeah. It's I have that with my I got a 1987 ZX10 that I ride. I actually put it up for sale recently, and it was like I thought I'd get quite a bit of interest in it. Like, I'm not saying I didn't expect the phone to be ringing off the hook because obviously it's a required taste, but like I thought I'd have somebody wanting to buy it, and I've had loads of people saving the ad, and I'm thinking like, fucking hell, like. I mean, I won't even budge. Like, I've got it up for what it's up for, and I know exactly how much I'll knock off it. And I've said to my mates, because without my friends, I got gifted the bike. Like, my friend did a paint job for like next to nothing, and like I've been so fucking lucky. And I've said to all my mates, I'm like, look, if for any reason that I can't keep it, like, I will give it to a friend that's going to appreciate it before I let it go for any less than the lowest price I'll let it go for, just because I know what it's worth, and that's it. It's like, and that's the thing. Like, you know what you've got in it, you know what it's worth, and people want everything for nothing, and
the market's hard. The market's hard right now. We've got 2 bikes up for sale, and we've got a 2000. Sorry, customers, if I'm getting it wrong, it's off the top of my head. I think 2011. No, not 2011. What am I on about? 2019 48. 4,800 miles on the clock. This bike is mint, right? And the customer knows what he wants for it. We've got it up at 11.5 grand, but we can finance it. You know, we work with a called Chatsbrook, so we can finance our bikes. And then we've got a 2019 1200 iron, fully blacked out, doesn't need a thing doing to it, with only 1,000 miles in the clock. Also look for 11.5 grand, and we can finance it. So yeah, people are saving the adverts and people are commenting, a really nice bike. Nobody's making an offer. So I actually went out yesterday and went, look, make us an offer. If you are serious and you want to buy that, come to me with an offer and I'll put it to my customer. Not one person has sent a message going, I'll offer 9 grand, I'll offer 10 grand. So telling you now, if somebody made an offer on those bikes and it was a decent offer, I reckon one of those customers would take it. But can't even get offers, and that's with finance.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It is crazy. But like I say, it's just like it's mad because on the other hand, people are sinking loads of money into something that's just like, you're like, have you really just paid that much for that? And it's like,
yeah,
horses for course, in it, like you said earlier. You know, it's
absolutely.
everyone wants what they want, and it's people. Obviously, everyone always wants something for as little as possible, and it's, you know, you just, what do you do? What do you do?
Yeah.
You just, you know.
I know.
But I wanted to ask, actually, where was the inspiration for the graffiti wall? Where did that come from?
That was so. It's a pity I'm not in the shop now. So I'm sure, you know, some people may have seen it, but when we got the unit, it was what we felt like this massive big space, yeah. And we walked in through the door and we went, we need something on that wall that's going to draw people's attention when it comes in, because what our whole idea was to make BBG like a garage that you'd have at home, you know, like a big garage, a cool place to hang out. That's what we wanted to create. So we looked at it and I went, Jesus, guys, it's going to cost an absolute bloody fortune to have a massive sign made. And then myself and my missus, for our wedding anniversary last year, we went on a graffiti course, how to do wall art graffiti. And I kind of went, what about graffiti? And guys went, yeah, that would look cool. I said, but where do you get a graffiti artist? I went, don't worry, I know where we can find somebody. So I literally rang the graffiti school where we went for our class, and I said, I've got this massive wall, I want BBG spraying on it. And they're like, yeah, cool, we can come do that. So we got hold of a guy who I thought was Irish, but it turned out to be Scottish. Dad still laughs about that now. And mate, they literally did it in a couple of hours. We had a scaffolding in there, and they sprayed it up, and yeah, I'm done. But our tagline or slogan is actually "We build, you ride." If you look on the BBG, it says everything happens for a reason, because that's what we always say. When something goes tits up, when something goes well, we always kind of go, everything happens for a reason. That's what we always say. So that's on the wall as well. And then also to the left, there's a little acorn on the left-hand side. And that is something from Gaz's girlfriend, Bex, because she's kind of always said to him, big trees grow up on little acorns. So there's an acorn on that wall as well.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. That I like. It's good to have little meanings behind things, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, at times it can get. And actually, Gaz and I had this conversation a couple of days ago. Is you can get that busy and wrapped up in your own little bubble and world of stress and problems that you actually forget why you exist. So every now and again, we're going to wobble our heads and give each other a hug and go, come on, bro, we're good. Let's remember why we're doing this.
Yeah,
and just to take a step back, when we first opened BBG, we one night we had a bottle. Our first customer brought us down a bottle of Jack Daniel's honey, and we nailed this bottle of Jack Daniel's honey. And we've got, mate, to say we've got a mega sound system in the shop is an understatement. We've got a proper good sound system in there because we both like our music. So I basically raided my house of all the good shit and put it in the garage. So we've got this really cool sound system in there with a subwoofer with 3 active down drivers in it, and it's really cool. So we stood outside and we just kind of went, fucking hell, look at this. And we don't do enough of that now,
Yeah.
you know. And every now and again, we're just going to take a step back and go, something to be proud of.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I had that moment Sunday at that live event when I hung up one of each design of my clothing, and like
Yeah.
I actually obviously people that do follow me, like I do all of this stuff myself. Like I don't source it out to another company. My
Okay.
friend cuts the designs out for me, and then I do all the applying and like all the weaving.
Cool.
So when you're picking out the bits you don't want, and like to hang everything up and stand back and go, fucking hell, like
Yeah.
wicked. Do you know what I mean? Like I went on
Yeah.
Instagram this afternoon and one of the guys over in Marbella posted a picture wearing one of my t-shirts like that I did, and
That's
it's just
cool,
like
man.
it's cool because like, you know, obviously like at the end of the day we are competing against big hitters, you know. It's like, you know, you're up against people that have got hundreds of thousands of followers, and at the end of the day they don't have to do a great, I mean I'm not saying that they have to be working at the beginning. I'm not here to say that at all, but like
Yeah.
when you look at like they might put something out, whether it be a picture or something, or and the people are going crazy for it, and like and you're doing the same if not more, you know.
And you get
So you
6
have to
likes.
learn to appreciate the little
Yeah.
wins, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. No, but that's amazing that you've got people abroad like wearing clothing. I've not seen that with ours yet, but mate, I can't sell t-shirts and hats for sure. I bought a lot of hats and t-shirts and hoodies. I ended up giving them away, probably not because I couldn't sell them, but again, it's about branding. And now I've seen like YouTubers wear kind of like my hat on their vlogs. I've seen online kind of tutorials of people wearing our clothing. I'm kind of thinking that's cool because for me, yeah, it's cost me 15 quid to give them a hat, but it's reached a bigger audience. Dude, you're frozen. I think your computer might have crashed again. Right, everyone. Well, I'm probably going to end it there because I know we're having some technical issues. So if you have joined, thank you for joining. Catch you all soon. Cheers.